tonight on the Final Play.
Steps up and being chased from behind and dropped. Rolling right, throwing behind Tommy Lee Lewis, but he dives backward and makes the reception for the touchdown. Gotta love that kid.
The Saints' first preseason game provided causes for optimism and concern.
The things that kind of sit in your craw, obviously, are some of the situational awareness we lack.
And some players saw their stock shoot through the roof, including the team's electrifying offensive duo of Kamara and Lewis.
I went to him, and he gave me a shot to go get it, and I laid out.
Plus, a platoon of newcomers are taking the Tigers by storm. See which freshmen are making their impacts felt. And Anthony Davis talks about his summer and the Pelicans' upcoming season.
From Fox 8 Sports, this is The Final Play, sponsored by your Southern Quality Ford dealer, built Ford tough, and Nissan, innovation that excites.
Welcome into The Final Play. I'm Juan Kincaid, and it's back to work for the Black and Gold. Now that they've got 60 game minutes of preseason football under their belts and a ton of film to break down, the good, the bad, and of course the ugly from last Thursday's loss in Cleveland. Sean Payton and his players have quickly turned the page to getting better and getting ready for the Chargers next weekend. Sean Vazan has more from Saints headquarters.
The Saints have now completed 14 practices in one preseason game. Competition at certain positions is heating up. Take wide receiver. The top four of Michael Thomas, Willie Snead, Ted Ginn Jr., and Brandon Coleman seem set. But the battle for the fifth slot has seesawed between players like Corey Fuller, Jake Lampman, and Tommy Lee Lewis. After Thursday's 10-catch performance, Lewis seems to have the upper hand for now.
If you break the huddle and you're a receiver and you kind of come out maybe with a little bit of intrepidation as to where you align, then you're not able to play and execute. And he did some good things a year ago, but I think he's that much more familiar with what we're doing, and so it allows you to get a better evaluation and allows your performance obviously to be better.
At cornerback, injuries have hit the group. Delvin Breaux and Marshawn Lattimore remain sidelined. There's no timetable on when either player will return. Their injuries have put the group in a bit of a holding pattern. In their absences, P.J. Williams, King Crawley, and Devontae Harris have all gotten first-team reps. While Lattimore is out, other draft picks are standing out. After missing a few practices with an undisclosed injury, Ryan Ramczyk returned to his starting role at left tackle.
I don't know if there's enough time to say I've earned anything yet. Like I said, I got to keep working. But right now, I think there's not a ton of depth at that position, so I'm kind of the next man up.
On the defensive side of the ball, linebacker Alex Anzalone has looked wise beyond his years and has flashed some pass coverage skills. Plus, sixth-round pick Al-Qadim Mohammed appears to have turned a corner in his development. Not only did he have a sack Thursday, he followed it up with two of his best practices to date.
The first challenge to ability is availability, and I like the fact that he's grinding through it and working through the mistakes, but I think he's doing well. He's handling it.
We continue talking Saints with Josh Katzenstein from NOLA.com and the Times-Picayune. And the Saints have just wrapped up 14 practices in this training camp. They're over halfway done with the training camp schedule. Today, the big news is Drew Brees is a little upset.
Yeah, it was wild to see because we never see Drew get that animated. Obviously, he's a super competitive guy, and you see the emotion in his face. But he was actually yelling at a handful of players on the field. So there was a bad snap, and it sort of went high, and then there were defenders on him immediately. So we couldn't tell if he was yelling at the defense for coming after him. And they didn't necessarily hit him, but obviously he's unprotected in a situation like that. But as it turns out, we asked Sean Payton, and he was just yelling at the offensive lineman for apparently missing a protection. And I don't know if it's frustration building up, because some of the offensive line issues that have persisted throughout camp, or if it was just a one-off thing.
You have seen the chemistry between Brees and Michael Thomas throughout training camp. We expect it to carry over into the games itself. But Michael Thomas, no chance of a sophomore slump there. He's looked really good.
Dude, he's so good, man. Yeah. It's like someone, one of my coworkers today said, today was like the Michael Thomas day. I'm like, every day could be the Michael Thomas day. I mean, there isn't a cornerback on this team that can stop him. I even tweeted last week that no cornerback on this team can stop the Michael Thomas slant. Now, most cornerbacks in the league can't stop that. But you would think when you're seeing it every day, day after day, play after play, at some point someone's got to step up and figure it out, and they just haven't yet.
We always look for guys that are really standing out in training camp that you may not expect. You don't expect much from a 7th-round pick. I mean, Marcus Colston was a 7th-round pick. We know how that turned out. But Al-Qadim Muhammad's a player that's really shown himself well in the training camp. We hope it translates to the field, but so far, pretty good.
Yeah, I think Muhammad was a 6th-round pick. Regardless, you don't expect much from those guys, anyone on day 3. And honestly, the first week of camp, he didn't look good at all, I didn't think. So, but this past week, I saw him put on a great spin move against Zach Strief. At first, I was like, why is this guy even going against Strief in one-on-ones? But he put a great spin move on and got right into the backfield very quickly. He had a few pressures against the Browns in the first preseason game, and I think you saw today he had 2 sacks. So it seems like, you know, he's just really on an upward incline right now, and I would expect things to keep getting better, and there's definitely a chance by the time the season starts he'll have a role.
So as we look at the preseason game, look, Saints lose the first preseason game, but you're not really so much worried about the final outcome as opposed to the performance. No one played better in that game than Tommy Lee Lewis. At what point do we stop talking about him as a guy that needs to make this team because of special teams, and maybe switch it to this is the guy that will make the team if he keeps playing like this as a receiver?
So I see it from both sides. Unfortunately for Tommy Lee Lewis, there's never going to be a situation where his special teams don't matter, just because every team in the NFL, when they're evaluating that 5th wide receiver spot, special teams does play a role. So he has to figure out a way to get on the field, whether that's as a returner, whether that's, you know, as a gunner or a jammer, like something in the punt team. But the fact is, yeah, he is playing really well.
So the schedule will change a little bit this week. The team will go out to L.A. for the game on Sunday against the Chargers. They'll start joint practices on Thursday. What do you think Sean Payton needs to see from his team as a whole in these 2 practices?
I think defensively, you know, you just have to see some intensity and some winning plays. I mean, we go back to the cornerback group that we were just talking about. If Ken Crawley can do well against any of those receivers, then that would be something that would give the Saints a lot more confidence, because, you know, even though Crawley has looked good, when you're going against the same guys every day, you learn their tendencies, you figure out ways to cheat a little bit. You know, when you play a new team, then that's something that should be a much bigger test for these guys, whether it's Crawley, whether it's Devontae Harris. You know, even Von Bell is a guy who, he looked good in the preseason game, but I don't know that he's been consistent throughout training camp. So I think, you know, it always comes back to the secondary for this team. Obviously, you want to see some pass rushing from guys like Muhammad or, you know, Kikaha and Okafor, but I think the secondary is still probably the biggest question mark.
And on the offensive side of the ball, what does Drew Brees need to see from his team against his old team?
I think he needs to see if Ryan Ramczyk can block Joey Bosa. I think that is going to be the #1 matchup that I'm going to be watching the whole time that we're in LA next week, just because, again, you go against the same guys in practice all the time, and this is a significant step up for Ramczyk if he goes against Joey Bosa, because this guy came in and was amazing as a rookie last year, and Ramczyk didn't play him while he was at Wisconsin, while Bosa was at Ohio State. So that should be one where if Ramczyk can play well, suddenly, you know, there'd be a lot more confidence about this offensive line.
Think it'll be 1 series and out for Brees and those guys? Maybe a little bit more.
Probably depends on how the series goes. I mean, obviously, you don't want to put Brees at any more risk than he has to be, but yeah, I mean, if it's a 3 and out, I would think that you want to see at least a little bit of production.
All right, we'll leave it right there with Josh Katz and Steve from NOLA.com and the Times Picayune. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you.
And don't forget, you can always stay connected to the Black and Gold with our Final Play app. Download it now from the App Store or Google Play to access analysis, blogs, slideshows, videos, and much more. Again, easy to find. Just search Final Play. Still to come on the Final Play, Chris Hagan breaks down the progress that we've seen from running back Alvin Kamara. And later, we'll head to campus for a check-in on both LSU and Nicholls State. We're just getting started here, so stay with us.
You're watching The Final Play.
Reggie Bush, Darren Sproles, Alvin Kamara. It remains to be seen if the latter can fill the shoes of the first 2, but the Saints signed the rookie Kamara with a vision that he can do it all, just like Bush and Sproles did before him. And in Thursday's preseason opener, the signs were there. Here's Chris Hagan.
Kamara on second and short, bust out of the pack. He's got a first down inside the 35 down to the 30.
Even on just 4 carries in the Saints preseason opener, rookie Alvin Kamara put everyone on notice that he's very capable of being a big play running back. In those 4 touches alone, He had separate bursts for 12 and 22 yards apiece.
It feels good, you know. I think, you know, it's just been so much anticipation and like anxious, like just being so anxious to be like, man, I want to get in that first game and just get that first carry out the way. So getting that first carry, getting that second carry, you know, just, you know, it's like a release, like, okay, back to football.
Indeed, they were nice runs for a first-year player against a first-team defense. But Kamara knows the work doesn't stop here. It only gets tougher.
I saw some good stuff, but still some stuff that needed to get corrected. So I think we handled that today at practice. You know, just being real critical when you go in there and watch the film. So I was real critical of myself, and you know, it's a lot of things to improve on.
One of those things is the passing game. He has the catching ability and the speed, certainly, but Kamara admits there's a lot more and a lot of new information to process as a receiver.
I just try to talk to Drew, you know, talk to Cadet. You know, he played that role, so try to talk to him a lot, and just try to learn as much as I can from, you know, just all those guys.
Because it's one thing to be compared to Darren Sproles, but another level of play entirely to produce the same way he did wearing black and gold. In fact, he's still being studied.
He never gets touched. Like, he's just so quick. In fact, I mean, he got a low center of gravity, and his decision making is so precise. Like right when it's like he knows what he wants to do, like 10 moves before he does it. So it's crazy.
And to one day get to Sproles' level, Kamara goes to the source, the man that put in the work with him to make so many electric plays look routine.
He knows everything. That's how in my head, that's how I think about it. It's like, Drew knows everything. If I don't know something, go to Drew. So that's what I do. I mean, even if I do know something, I just go to him and like, all right, you like how that looked? I mean, if you see something you didn't like, tell me, or if you want me to do it better, tell me. So, I mean, it's always good to have him there. Because, I mean, he's transparent. He's an open book.
To his left, Grayson looks in that direction, lofts it downfield, and it is going to be a diving effort and a catch down around the 2-yard line.
And, of course, then there's Tommy Lee Lewis, closer to Sproles in stature and capable of being just as dangerous with big plays. His growth from year 1 to year 2 could keep him on the roster in a very tight race at wide receiver.
I feel more comfortable and more confident in the offense, and just settling in and everything, just going out and play, being able to play fast, less thinking.
At 5'6", he's labeled as a special teams contributor and occasional playmaker. But in the ever-changing NFL, Lewis wants to prove he's the total package.
It's just showing I got strong hands in traffic. You know, with being a small guy, I always gonna say you have average hands in traffic just so you can get bumped off a route or anything like that. But I just want to show I got strong hands, so I can come out and compete with the best of them.
Because there's no doubt that if he can prove he's worthy of the roster spot, the Saints and their brilliant offensive minds can certainly find a way to use him. Reporting in Metairie, I'm Chris Hagan for The Final Play.
One preseason game down, 3 more to go, and just like the first, the remaining 3 will be live on Fox 8. Up next, a Sunday kickoff in Los Angeles against the Chargers. From there, they'll come back to the Dome for an August 26th showdown against the Houston Texans, and they'll close out the preseason once again in the Dome against the Baltimore Ravens. That one kicking off on the 31st. Once again, all the games begin with our pregame show, which kicks off at 6:30 each night. Coming up, it's time for a progress report on LSU and Nicholls State football, as we're now barely 2.5 weeks from kicking off the season. And Pelicans All-Star Anthony Davis has the highest of expectations for his team this season, why he believes the Pels are primed to make a run. That's all coming up on The Final Play.
Watching The Final Play.
That's a good question. You know, I can just tell you what you look for in a center as far as that. So what you want is a nice, like, plump bottom, just something to put your surface area to put your hands on. So you want, so then you want them to feel you. You know, as much as I love Will and as great of a football player as he is, he doesn't have the biggest bottom, and I think you guys would see that. But him and I have really worked toward it, so I found a nice surface area to put my hands on. And Lloyd and I are coming along. So Lloyd and I didn't get a ton of snaps together in the spring, but Lloyd and I are really coming along, especially the past couple days.
Now that we know that LSU's quarterback prefers a little junk in his center's trunk, focus shifts back to what's really important: how well Danny Etling's been playing in fall practice. So far, he's been good enough, but he's being pushed, as a number of the veteran players are, by a very talented freshman class. Chris Hagan has more on the Tigers.
At about the 2-week mark of fall camp, there are a few things we're getting a clearer picture on. First, just how good this freshman class is, via Ed Ogeron, who says it's one of the most talented he's ever been around.
I think it's a combination of some of them are very elite athletes. And some of them have been here, mid-year guys. And then the ability to go skill drills and film session in the summer with everybody here. And then Miles Brennan comes from a passing offense. And he is a natural thrower. So for him, he still has to learn the offense, obviously. He still has to be more comfortable with his reads. But his release and his ability to throw the ball is very special.
That's something we've seen since Miles Brennan's high school days not too long ago in Mississippi. Ed Ogeron says Danny Etling still leads the pack at quarterback, but with all of the high praise for Brennan, you have to wonder how close he is to giving Etling something to really worry about.
I'll tell you what, it's just fun to see. It's fun to see that ball come out of his hands. But you know what? We have to bring him along when he's ready. We're not going to throw him in the fire until that's the worst thing we can do. And we need to let him develop, let Lowell Northeast develop, give them an opportunity to compete. And when they're ready, give them a chance. But right now, Danny is still our #1 quarterback.
However, that doesn't mean Danny is getting all of the #1 reps. Ogeron says that Brennan is getting more reps than the rest of the backups, mainly because they saw the others already in the spring. But they're still not giving him more than a handful of reps with the first team.
We don't want to put that on him right now. He don't know all the plays. It's a new installation every day. It's a heavy installation. The guy's still in a learning period with a learning curve. I don't want to put him in there, put too much pressure on him. Does he have the ability to be a first-string quarterback as a freshman? Yes, he does. There's no question about that. Is he ready? Not yet.
As for the players that are ready, look no further than a few key spots on defense. Sophomores like Devin White and Michael Divinity are poised to have bigger seasons, alongside freshmen like Jacob Phillips and Kalavon Chason. Then there's the secondary, which did lose some very key players in Jamal Adams and Tre'Davious White, but at the same time, they're just as deep as ever. Dante Jackson at corner has been another game changer that Ogeron keeps a close eye on, trying to push him to reach his potential.
He's one of the fastest for sure, but he needs to get better at the day in and day out technique. And he's doing that with Corey. He knows he has some things that he needs to get better at. He's not perfect yet. He has a chance, in our opinion, to be a potential #1 draft pick, a high draft pick, have a great year. But he knows there's some things that he needs to work on.
And that stands true all over. From the offensive line trying to overcome more missing players and injuries, to other positions like wide receiver, where the depth chart's still written in pencil. There's still time to truly figure out the roster before week 1 against BYU, but the urgency from fans after a few shaky seasons will be higher than ever. Covering the Tigers, I'm Chris Hagan for the Final Play.
Over at Nicholls State, the team wrapped up its first team scrimmage on Saturday, and head coach Tim Rebowe continues to see improvement from his squad. Hard to believe, but the Colonels will be the first of our Southeast Louisiana schools to get the season underway when they face McNeese State at the end of this month, which means Rebowe has been leaning on his veteran leaders to help get the team ready for the season opener.
Well, I just think the team, I got some leaders on the team. We developing some team chemistry. I think the guys are really working hard in certain individual drills. A lot of fundamental work was which we're going into, and again, we're just trying to get better on both sides of the ball.
18 days from now, and the college football season will get underway for the Colonels when they welcome McNeese State to Thibodaux. The following Saturday, there's a full slate of games. Southeastern at UL Lafayette, Southern and Monroe to battle ULM, Tulane will host Grambling State, Uptown, and LSU will be in Houston to battle BYU. Coming up, does Anthony Davis have confidence that the Pelicans front office knows how to build a winner? We'll catch up with the all-star big man when the Final Play continues.
You're watching The Final Play.
Anthony Davis hasn't said it, but when we spoke with him last Tuesday at his basketball camp here in New Orleans, we got the sense that he knows that the pressure's on his team this season, that it could very well be playoffs or bust for a number of people in the organization. We also got the sense that Davis is okay with the fire being turned up a little bit.
We all want to win, and we're tired of losing.
For the better part of his time in a New Orleans jersey, losing is what's defined his career here. 70% of the time that Davis's team has been on the court, they've lost. So it's understandable that he sees now as a gut check time for the organization.
We think the time is now, and so we're treating it like this is the season. And if it's not, then we go from there. But as of right now, this is our most important season.
For so many reasons more than just the record, their free agent moves have spoke volumes. The signing of DeMarcus Cousins in February was solid. But Davis and Cousins working out together this offseason could make that transaction historic if they play well together, which everyone is expecting them to.
I love working out with him. I mean, he brings so much to our team. We try to figure out where we like the ball on the floor. When one's doing something, what is the other supposed to do? Where's the other person like the ball on the floor? Where do you like his shots from? How far can you shoot? All type of stuff like that. We've been working on that for a long time, and all summer. And he's gotten a lot better. Of course, with the weight loss, haven't seen him play yet, but he said he feels like he's in the best shape of his life.
And their ability to address the backcourt with the re-signing of Drew Holiday and the addition of Rajon Rondo, the pieces appear to be falling into place.
Elite point guard. Basketball IQ is off the charts. Great passer. Great defender. With him and Drew in the backcourt, I'm taking them to against anybody any day. And so we're excited about that. Ready to get started. He's already been, talking about stuff that, we can do. Saying that we're going to be the best team in the league in defense.
Now it's all about bringing it all together, and quickly, for the sake of everyone involved. Because, as Davis put it, the time is now to get back into the playoff conversation, as opposed to, once again, being a playoff afterthought.
That's what we're expecting. I mean, is it enough? We don't know until season's over, but we definitely believe that we have enough pieces on paper to make the playoffs. And not just make it, but actually make it run in the playoffs. So that's what we're expecting. Like I said, everybody's excited, everybody's prepared. And it starts in training camp, and we're doing the right things to trying to make sure that our chances are very high. And like I said, we look good on paper, but the entire organization, from players, front office, coaches, we all want to win.
And that's our show for tonight. For all of us here at Fox 8, I'm Juan Kincaid. We hope you'll join us again next Sunday night for the final play.
From Fox 8 Sports, this has been The Final Play.